Vale.
Okay.
Ah, pues sí que se escucha la impresora un poco, ¿eh?
Hi everyone, people are starting to join us. Okay, but the person I have to see is you, Luis. Are you already in the live? Luis, have you joined the live on Instagram?
Yes.
Yes, I need you there.
Sí que. Yes. Yes.
Yes?
Sí, sí, sí.
I cannot find you. Okay, there's many people getting here, so I have to see you to actually invite you to join us. Hold on. Hi, everyone. Waiting for Luis Tena to join. Oh my God, there's so many people here. Marta Espinosa. Oh, Chris. So many friends here. Luis Tena Design. Okay, he's the artist here. Okay, transmitir con Luis Tena. So hopefully the guest today will be joining us right now.
Okay.
Awesome. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you on the computer so we can see each other on Instagram. Hi everyone, this is Patty from Architect US. As you know, or most of you know, I'm the founder and CEO of this beautiful program that I'm running, and I couldn't be happier today to have Luis Tena. We haven't actually met each other for that long, but I'm a big fan of his career to date. He's a very, very inspiring person. I'm sure that you're gonna get super excited to hear all what he has overcome in the past 8 years since he moved to the US, and well, more about his background. So please welcome me, join me welcoming him. Oh my God, sorry. I think I'm nervous about you. Luis, you made me nervous. I don't know why. I feel like I'm gonna be talking to a superstar.
No, nothing at all. No. And it's also funny to be speaking in English with fellow Spaniards. What? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Yeah. He was telling me, is this in Spanish? And I was like, yeah, I think that we have to do it in English this time, because even though I see many people here, Spanish speakers, there are many other people from around the world. So I want to welcome you all, and thanks for joining. Well, there are many people joining, so we're going to just start with the flow, and please, you can just stop me at any time. This is like a family, or that's what we're trying to accomplish. And so just, raise your hand on Instagram and shoot your questions. This is a perfect moment for you to interact with Luis. We can share with you his contact info later if he wants, but this is the perfect moment. So, hi Luis, how are you? This is pretty early for you, right?
Well, it's 9 a.m., so it's good.
9 a.m.
I
okay.
tried to wake up way before that, but yeah, I was working until a little late last night, so it's perfect. It's beautiful here. I'm talking from a place called Crestwood Hills, is where I live right now, which is very close to, like, it's technically in Brentwood, and it's very close to Malibu, and it's part of LA basically.
But I feel like you barely sleep, because I was WhatsApping you the other day. It was like 2 a.m. in the morning for you.
And then yeah, I don't know. I kind of have fun. I don't know.
During the night,
if I sleep 6 hours a day, that's fine. And also,
that's enough. Well, you have the architect's genes. I can actually hear your 3D printer, I believe. Is it?
Yeah. So sorry for that. I cannot hear it right now. I don't know if you guys can hear it. So if it's bothering, please people complain.
No, it's super subtle. But is it a 3D printer?
Yes. So yeah, I invested in a 3D printer. I always loved to do 3D models at school, and now it actually helps a lot clients to understand some concepts every now and then. And also, like, I don't know, I think I spend like hours looking at it, how it goes like layer by layer. But I'm sure now people who are listening to us, they come from really cool architecture schools, and now they have implemented those technologies, right?
Well,
so to me, it was new. So yeah, it's like, wow, it's pretty cool.
That's what I was gonna say, because well, you tell us where you come from in terms of architecture background. I know that you come from Spain, but I mean your specific university. But as opposed to the US, I know that they are way more advanced in all technology, software, and so on. And I guess that at some point you just decided to follow the others' path and just get one from home. But how much, if I can ask, a 3D printer might cost, just to give people
there's a lot of different I think that you can get a fairly good one. There's Chinese brands, and I think it's like, I don't know, $500, something like that. Then can jump up to $5,000, $8,000, depending on the size. So I have one that is not like the highest
it's
one.
Super trendy. Okay.
No, it's tiny one is good. So
you have to
good
tell
enough
us,
for me. Yeah.
Yeah. You always use it for concept design, or for client presentations and so on, or even for your design process?
I'm doing it
it's like
for
a
my
final
design process. Or it's more like, now I'm using it more like a final product, to be honest, because it takes, so this one that I'm doing now is gonna be 48 hours. And this one I'm using it because I have a concept for a big house for a client that is still hesitating. So I want to kind of put the interest up a little bit. It's a little psychology technique, I guess, to get him excited. But for example, I had a client presentation 2 weeks ago that I was also trying to kind of push it a little bit, and I was able to get the presentation ready on time and prepare a quick model, and they were like, wow, we really understand what you were trying to accomplish here, with the option of seeing through the house right when you enter, because it was a complicated site, and I think it helped. So time will tell me if it was a good investment or not.
So it's not a final commission yet. I see. Well, you have to show us later when we go over your projects, some of your ongoing sites and the works that you are building. It's incredible. It's incredible. But before to go into what you're doing now, let's just look backwards and see, well, where all this started. I mean, I don't really know anything about your family background. Do you have any architects around you, or this was just vocational?
Okay, let's start from the beginning. So I come from Pamplona. I was born in Pamplona, and I ended up studying in Pamplona too. My dad is an architect, and even though I loved computers and Lego techniques and robots, like I was meant to be an engineer, I think. But at last minute,
putting things together.
Right? Yeah, and also like in high school that we call here, in bachillerato. I enjoyed a lot with technical drawing. It was like my thing. I believe in math and physics. So I don't know. Last minute, my dad, he never really pushed me to do anything. I wasn't really passionate about architecture, to be very honest. But he told me, you should go to the Universidad of Navarra and do the Curso Cero, the zero course, and check it out. So it was in my last year of high school. So I went there. It was 8 Saturdays, and I just loved it. Like,
really?
The building, the people, like it was kind of fun. So where other careers that you have to study and memorize and then vomit what you studied and then just move on, architecture seemed to be something more like that you do, that is like your own, and it's even more collective. Working in those ateliers I fell in love with the building, fell in love with the vibe, and I said, okay, I don't know anything about this, but maybe my skills in computers and technical drawing could be a nice asset. So let's spend the next 6 years of my life studying something that is going to be fun and challenging, and let's see if I like it. And I think it was the end of the second year where I really, really, really. So at the beginning was more like, okay, I want to prove myself and everyone that I can do this, because it was really hard. Geometry was like a crazy assignment, and everyone was failing, la la la. So I went through the first year pretty well, and then the second year is when I found my groove with how to present projects, because it's everything you have to. They don't teach you how to do it. You have to. They push you. They put the limit high, so you have to find your flow. And I
the transformation The transform.
Mm-hmm.
This is sorry, I cut you off, but it actually interests me that. I mean, I felt pretty much the same that what you're describing. So I remember that the first year it was a little bit overwhelming with all the abstract aspects of geometry, even maths, physics, and so on. But then the transformation, because I think that an architect is just it's a nature's piece, right? I mean, we have some features in common, and I felt that I was starting the transformation, as you said, on year 2, when you were putting all those ideas together and starting building physical models and kind of arguing, new concepts in your mind and transforming them into a project. And do you think that transformation started there, or you actually think that you became the architect who you are right now just through many years of professional experience, like more real work experience?
Like through many years. I believe like school, like the learning process hasn't stopped. Like to me, all this. So I've been in LA for almost 8 years now, and I started officially my business 1 year ago, right? Even though I started doing projects before that, but the learning process was to me over like last year. But no. Like
you're learning today.
It's moving. Like you don't know anything, and the more you know, like the more you realize that you don't know. So it's like, but I don't know. To your question, I don't know. I'm still evolving. I hope.
Yeah. So then you study architecture for 6 years in Spain,
yes.
And right after is when you decided to move to the US, or what led you to actually?
So so I'm from Pamplona. I lived in Pamplona, very proud. But I have family everywhere, kind of in Spain, like Vigo, Bilbao, Valencia. So I was always moving around, right? So I felt like, okay, I really never went out from my city to really live. Or like all my friends were having these really cool experiences of living in the I don't know how to say that in English, but in las casas, las dorms, or sororities, or whatever.
Oh, I see that you were living
I was
home.
Always living home,
Yeah.
And in our architecture, I mean, UNAV, Universidad de Navarra, is like one of the best universities in Spain, and it was like a very solid program where if you were leaving 1 year, you would miss your train, So we all like stayed there. So I didn't have Erasmus experience or anything like that, but I had this spirit of always like moving around. Like I was going surfing to France every weekend, or going with my friends to Portugal, or like always trying to move. So I said, okay, now that I'm kind of free and that I'm finishing my school, let's get outside of the comfort zone, like, but big time. So I had all this energy contained, and I said, okay, where is the best? Where do I want to go? So I want to be able to surf every day before I go to work. That was like kind of the I don't know, childish or passionate or whatever thing that I had. Then I love technology, so I said, and I was following Steve Jobs and all those stuff, like Silicon Valley, right? Then the movies, the TV shows. So I don't know, everything was pointing me out to California.
Yeah,
like that. But California, just for the concept that I had in my head, also like the big city, good weather. So I don't know. I said, okay, let's go there. So I started saying that I wanted to come to LA when I was 22. So when I was on my 4th year. And I was just repeating to myself, repeating to people, I want to go. And then when the time came, I had opportunities. So I applied. So I had a friend who got a job in LA. So she kind of showed me the way a little bit with the J1 visa. So she was 1 year ahead. She's now like one of my best friends, actually. And she was the one explaining me how to do it. So I kind of followed her path, and I was very lucky because the mistakes that she made, I was able to kind of like go around.
Please, share those with us, because, well, as you know, we facilitate the J1 visa sponsorship to many international talents, and we also help them with, to land a job. but I'm sure that they are very, very interested in learning from your experience. What would you say are the three main things or two main things you would have liked known before moving or before applying for the visa that this friend probably told you in advance?
Yeah, so what I felt I knew already all those things. So the way she did it, so she did it through Intrax, which is like a international sponsor thingy that you can go as a sole, like yourself, and hey, I want a visa, and then you have to find someone who hires you, right? So in my case, she sent emails like all around the world. You know, she really didn't care where to go. She really wanted to go to New York actually, but she got hired in LA by an office, Y Architecture, who had headquarters in LA and also an office in New York. So she landed in LA, but she had a list also of offices in LA. So I said, to be honest, I didn't care. Yeah. So no, a list of offices, to be honest, I don't even remember, but I could point out if people want. I don't know now with the actual situation, but yeah, whatever. But the mistake that she made is that she got a scholarship that was putting like a little thing on your passport saying that you have to come back. The 2
years rule.
Yeah, the 2-year rule. So she was like, and she was able to remove that. So she was like, and she had to even return some part of the money that she got from the scholarship. So she said, don't do the scholarship thing. So I didn't make that mistake. I mean,
that's actually a good point. That's actually a good point. Just let me just give them a little bit of context for this. So, so basically, Luis came to the US through the J1 visa with a different sponsor than us, and you, I mean, he could have, instead of going for the J1 visa right away, which is the best way of doing it if you don't want to get limited in your passport, as he's explaining. The other way that people normally do is either enrolling in a post-grad school or English school or some sort of teaching institution that gives you the F1 visa. Well, with the F1 visa, then you're going to experience some issues transitioning to the J1 visa. So if your main goal is to actually work, try to avoid the F1 visa or the J1 visa through a scholarship, because as Luis was mentioning, like the Fulbright scholarship, I mean, I know because it was in the same path that you are explaining. Thank God I didn't get it, because then it's a very, very, very difficult process that, to be honest, I didn't know anyone until you said about your friend that had got the waiver for removing the 2 years rule when it was a scholarship. Pretty much everyone that I mean, I came with to the US with a scholarship as well, but it was through the Spain Ministry of Education. And at that time, Spain was really, really screwed with the recession. So they didn't have any objection for letting me, grow as a professional, because there was nothing to do in Spain. But that was also a very particular, I think, circumstance, and I was lucky. But long short story, if you have to always draft your path very clearly, what is your goal, what is your point B, and where is your point A, and build that line to make sure that you get to where you want to get, and avoid as many obstacles as possible, because immigration in the US is quite complicated. So that's actually a good recommendation for you guys. And that was one, and what was the other one? Oh, you said you only said one.
Well, the other one was, so once you are, so the J1 in our case was 12 months because we were, there's two types of, J1 is the internship or the trainee. With different, the difference is basically one is 12 months, the other one is 18 months. So
it really depends on when you have finished school. So if you have finished within a year,
less than a year ago, there you go. And for the trainee, you had to have already experience working.
Correct, a year,
something like that. Yeah. So the other thing I learned from her, I mean, she's the true pioneer, my friend Laura. When she decided that she wanted to stay in LA, so she had to try to get the office that she was working for to sponsor for an H-1B. But she waited maybe until last minute for that, and the H-1B requires more time. So that allowed me, okay, I'm gonna make sure if I want to stay. So I gave myself 6 months to see, okay, do I like LA? Do I like this? So I really fell in love with it. And I said, okay, now let's plan ahead. Let's ask, because if you wait till the last minute, they know that they are your only option. So it's better to have more options in your pocket. So I started
Really good
that with
tip.
6 months. So, but then it's also like you have to project, right? Because depending on where your J1 finishes, the H1B can only start, if everything goes fine, in October 1st. So my J1 finished in February. So I was starting my sponsorship for the H1B 1 year before was actually going to be effective. So it's a lot of commitment, a lot of, you have to want to do it, let's say. And once and then there's a path, you have to be patient, and
that's why we always recommend you guys to try the O1 visa, because the H1B, I don't know if you're familiar with that one, probably
the
to jump
O1
for
is
the
like
H1B to the green card. Is the artist visa. Basically doesn't really have a cap. It doesn't really start at any specific date throughout the year, so you can apply on December 25th, start on any time. So it's way more flexible, and also, well, it gives you more freedom in terms of moving, transferring from company to company, extending your visa. But anyway, that's a different topic that probably could be an interesting one for a session, if you guys are interested in us covering the differences between the different visas that mainly will be F1, J1, H1B, O1. And then the green card, that's what you're holding now, right? Or you're not?
Yes, that's what I'm holding. Yes. So I'm a permanent resident since last year. Yeah.
Wow. But tell us, so you landed also in YLA, right? So you follow literally her steps.
So to be honest, again, the same when I studied architecture, I wasn't really like, oh, I want to go here or there. I wanted to be in LA.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm losing you or not.
Yeah, I lost you, but we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to land in LA. The office wasn't my priority number one. I was just, let's find somebody who would do my J1 visa, and I just stay there. And then once I'm there, I'll try to find my own thing. So I was lucky enough that she got hired there because she told me, hey, this office is really cool. So we worked really hard. So we overlapped there like for 1 month. But I only sent one portfolio. I sent them my portfolio, and
Really?
But I think I was lucky. Yeah, I was lucky because I started a rendering company in school with my two best friends from school, Alberto and Mark. So we had like a lot of muscle in rendering. So I had like a good portfolio. So I guess they were exactly looking for somebody who could manage projects and also do rendering. So, and they had the good experience of Laura, like coming from Spain, coming from Universidad de Navarra, very well trained, but we were so different. So she was like very, 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 I mean, we both hard workers, but she was more like a sponge and very, very nice and really trying to adapt. I was like a little, I have my own way of doing things. So
eager to learn and ambitious. Yeah.
Well, eager to learn, but also like I came like a little too, so it was like a shower of reality, because from the rendering company, I was able to talk to, I don't know, to the owners of the architecture firms or construction companies that I were doing renderings for. We even did there's a museum that Rafael Moneo designed in Universidad de Navarra, and we did the video presentation. So we were I was used to being a kid, like kind of talk to the high ranks, and then suddenly I came to a new country. I was an intern. I didn't even know how to speak the language properly. So they were like, hey kids, shut up, do the things our way.
I was gonna say.
But I don't know, I'm kind of stubborn or something. So I insisted, and then they kind of opened a little door for me to show them how I was doing things. So in the end, I ended up
proving yourself.
Not proving myself, but kind of helping the office a little bit in that sense. But it took some time. It's all about communication. I'm not that good at politics inside offices. That's also one of the reasons why I think I really wanted to start my own thing, because I'm I like to do things my own way a little bit. And in
Yes.
architecture, that's not a skill. So in architecture, it's really good to work in team and to be flexible. And I don't know, I'm a little bit the other way around.
I think that what I can kind of extract from your story is that somehow, I mean, it's not that you were lucky, because obviously you were really well-rounded as an architect and strong with a great portfolio, but at the same time, you were at the right moment at the right place. So
kind of.
That could be the case. I don't think if we're living in a really good moments in that regard. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I got a call, but I cut it off.
Okay.
Sorry for you guys. Sorry about that. But I think that what you guys have to take away from Luis' experience is that first, determination and attitude. So, you can totally tell what is his nature. I mean, he wants to do this, and it's a matter of being stubborn or just determined. I like it better to use the determined adjective. I'm very determined too, and I don't like when people call me stubborn. So I think that determination, attitude, like, okay, it doesn't really matter that it's true I have to calm down. I've been kind of a star in my early years running my own business in Spain and working with Rafael Moneo and so on. But now I'm in a different scenario, and I have to learn all this. So let's open up and at the same time being vocal. That's the other thing that I've already mentioned a few times. That is something that I was going to say in the US, but that's not true. Everywhere is really valuable, that you raise your voice and you say, hey, wait a minute, that's great, but what about if we do things this way? And that is going to project a lot of confidence, obviously, and also people is going to start respecting you and even admiring you. So you have to always follow the path that challenges you, because otherwise it won't change you. So
it's a very millennial thing to do too. Also, like, I just wanna, this entitlement thing, because I like to see a lot of these videos criticizing millennials. So as long as all these requests and speaking up comes with hard work behind, that's the only thing that you need. Like work hard, like prove that you are willing to give your best. And once you have proven that, is when you're gonna speak up. If you started speaking up at the beginning, right, by brand new in an office, it's like, okay, kid, go to the corner, which they kind of did with me a little bit. So then you learn by mistakes. But
yeah,
I totally agree with you.
And tell us a little bit about was it cultural shocking to land in an office in LA that was run in a different way than in Spain? I mean, or you find it almost like a natural transition?
Also, it was my first real job, to be honest.
Well, that's
like
true.
here.
You were not,
so the first month to me was also adapting to the language. To be honest, I had good language from my high school, so good English. I went to Irabia, and they were really, really good. But then through architecture school, I guess I didn't practice as much. I was speaking more French because I was going to surf to France more often, I guess. And then once I moved here, so it was like a matter of picking up with language, also adapting to the feet and inches and the way they measure length and weight and volume. And it's like, but to be honest, it's like in 3 weeks, you get used to it. Now the problem is that I don't know how to, if you ask me how many centimeters is that, so maybe I am way off, but I know everything by heart with feet and inches, which is also, little parenthesis, is a bit stupid that they don't have metric system here when the rest of the world has it, but it is what it is.
It doesn't seem that they're going to change, though. It doesn't seem like they're planning.
Yeah. Whatever.
They don't care.
Yeah. And then also, so yeah, LA, I mean, I would love to talk about LA because I'm in love with it, and I can even recommend a book.
Do you want me to share your presentation so you can start locating
if you want
things?
To, yeah.
Okay, let's do that.
So if you want to put the world.
Yes, let me compartir, share this. There we go. This one. So hopefully it works. Okay, so I'll put you here. Do you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen?
But that they
No,
only see
no. Oh
through
my
Zoom,
gosh.
right?
Yes, they only see it through Zoom. They don't see it on Instagram. That's true. I mean, we are, well, people on Facebook will be seeing the
Maybe we can switch the
presentation.
camera at some point. I can do it myself.
You mean, maybe I can do that. Let's try. I mean, this is an experiment.
But you're gonna
Let's
be
see.
having to hold. Yeah, there
There
you
you go.
Ah! Okay, so that's
I don't
more or
know how it
less.
looks.
Yeah, so now you zoomed in into the kind of geographical California zoom-in map of the LA area. Like you see those islands and stuff. So if you go to the previous one first.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't know why it
So
was
we're
here.
on the west coast.
Okay, why is not making me? Oh my gosh. Is it this one?
Go to the press left maybe on the keyboard.
Yeah, I'm doing it, but for some reason it's not allowing me. Come on, guys, don't do this to us. We're trying to. Okay, let me open up the what is it opening? I don't know why it's going that slowly. But anyway, if you guys want to see the full presentation, we will share it on YouTube as well in our YouTube channel. Yeah, because this is going super slow. I mean, I don't understand why. But I don't know if you want to try with yours. Maybe it works better.
Well, but
Luis, which one you want to look at?
the United the one that I see on the bottom left.
Yes. This one?
Okay. Yeah. There you go. This one. So there you go. So LA. So just people know where we are. Then
yes.
We can keep moving. There you go. And then next.
Zooming in.
Yeah.
We're gonna see you waving.
So there you go. So so that more or less. So you see those red dots and everything. So on the right side we have LA, which is kind of the flat part, and then on the top you see that greenery right there. So that's what is called the Santa Monica Mountains, and that is so. From the left side you have Ventura. Then in the middle with the little triangle pointing down, that's the heart of Malibu, that extends to the east a little bit. So this is oriented like the north is on the top, and then Pacific Palisades where your mouse was, and where you see it like more like whitey on the east side, on the right side, that's the whole like LA. So you have Santa Monica, Venice Beach, and then Westwood, UCLA is around there. But the mountains extend, and those mountains turn into the famous Hollywood sign once you get more like closer to downtown LA and Hollywood and stuff. So yes, people, and then on the north of those mountains is where you have the valley. So it's where all the movie studios are, like Burbank and Studio City and all of that. So it's very interesting. Now all the celebrities live on the valley on the left side, like very close to the Santa Monica Mountains. Yeah, that's kind of in perspective. So on the bottom we have more like LA, right? And then on the other side of the mountains is like the whole valley where all in Calabasas is where the Kardashians and all these celebrities kind of live. So it's on this side is Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and on the other side is the new stuff. So I am in love with the Santa Monica Mountains in general. So that combination of ocean, mountains, and then very low development per se, it's beautiful. Sometimes it feels a bit like third world because I don't know, you see the cables on the posts, like the houses, there's not like a central sewer system for the houses in Malibu. Each house have to deal with their own septic system and for the toilets and everything. So it's like a combination.
What a contrast, no?
Yeah, I know. And that keeps development low, and that also keeps like the standards. Like every time you want to do something new, the checklist is huge. You have to comply
with to deal
with the
with,
soils,
yeah.
with the septic, with the earthquakes, with the, so people have to spend a lot of money to just be able to get
to
to
get the
the
license
to get to the ground, yeah, and then to, okay, now let's start apply for the permits. So my first office, and why we were focused, they were, I mean, Kulaphat, who's the principal, he worked like he's like a star. He's from Thailand. He studied in Japan. He worked for Talawando there. He was the responsible of a bunch of Talawando's projects in the States, including the Fort Worth Museum. And then he established his own business, and he became like the local architect for Tadao's projects. And one of his huge projects was a huge house in Malibu for a super rich guy. And it's probably the biggest house in Malibu, which cannot be disclosed. But so I was able to visit that once in construction, and it was like amazing. So I combined Tadawando and Malibu, I was like mind blown, right? So that was nice. But then after that year, I decided to go to another office, which is called Studio PCH, and it's located in Malibu. And we were doing, it was more like detail oriented in terms of interior design, high-end homes, more localized in Malibu. We were doing the Nobu Hotel, but we also were doing restaurants around the world. So it was a cool combination of public and so commercial and residential works, like a scope of work. And they gave me the opportunity to be more involved in construction from the architecture side. And that was what led me to then say, okay, if I really want to stay in LA, if I really want to, it's when I decided that I kind of wanted to start my own thing, like low key.
And that was like a year after you arrived.
That was that was I think 3 years after I arrived.
Oh, 3 years.
That's when you also have to see if it's even a possibility or not, right? But then doing some research, okay, what do I have to do to start my own firm? First of all, I need to learn, but then I realized construction is the most important thing. So to me, it's one of the key things in architecture, because they teach us very, very well how to design in the schools, but then you gotta make it work in construction. You cannot just design whatever, right? So getting those skills, those tools of what can be done in construction allows you to get it done, and also allows you to then try to push the limits a little bit, which is what I'm trying to head. Like, and that's my huge critic now with the business, is that it's very, to me, it's very old fashioned still. So I have to admit, now I started an office which is doing architecture the same old fashioned way it's been done the last, I don't know, 50 years, 100 years. I don't know. If you watch the movie Fountainhead, which I really like, it's kind of, I don't feel much different. Okay, we use computers now, but it's kind of the same thing, right? So I think that everything should evolve a little bit more into the tech world. Like architects, maybe we have to become coders. I think that we're behind. Yeah. So I think that, yeah, a revolution needs to happen. So I wanna be there. So what I'm trying to do now is kind of learn the standard way, try to get some cool houses, and I'm also working on a hotel.
And you're learning how to build with wood, right? Mainly.
Yeah, and also the construction tradition. So when you ask me when I arrived here, what were the bigger contrasts? To me, it was like the feet and that, but also the construction tradition. In the States, there's a lot of access to wood, and it's very fast, very flexible. So they just do it with wood because everyone does it with wood. I mean, in why it was cool because we were using a lot of concrete. It was more like a lot of Japanese influence. But now, but you come here, I have to design houses for normal families, and then the contractors, they use wood. So I'm building a lot in high fire zone, which is Malibu. So that gives me the little, hey, let's try to do something different here. Let's try to put some more steel, some concrete.
How do you how easy you find explaining your clients that, maybe they should start thinking about different materials if they're in a higher fire zone?
It's a matter of cost. I mean, I have, for example,
It's
one of
only
my
cost, it's culture and cost, I guess, right?
it's culture and cost. One of my favorite clients, he's from South Africa, so I mean, a lot of the cool thing from LA is the people that you meet is that they come from all around the world, you know, and they have their own insights. So I have a few clients that are from South Africa. I had a few ones that were from Australia, and I have one of my favorite clients. He's from Spain here too. That I met him a few years ago. So they all understand this, but you gotta adapt to. You cannot just spend like way more money on something just because you feel that it's better. You have to prove it. So you can push the boundaries if money comes with it. If you can justify that they are going to be saving money, maybe now and also in the future, because thanks to maybe to still they avoid having termites problems, or they don't have to. I don't know. There's a lot of things also with the seismic calculations.
Well,
Wood works
you are
very
building
well.
you're building in such a complex area of the world. So
there's tsunamis, there's fires, there's earthquakes, there's floodings. We have pandemics too. Like it's
yeah.
we have all the combo.
One of the things I read in somewhere, I don't know, in a testimonial that you shared with me, or in an interview that you shared with me, is that you were describing architects as the mesh or the net that kind of interconnects all the pieces that a building, needs to put together. And I really like that, going along with how versatile you need to be if you wanna. I think that your brother or someone is here, right? Luis Tena is
No, that's my father.
Oh, is your
Probably.
father?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Tony Tenazas is my uncle. They are like the kids in this interview, I guess.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Making jokes.
I'm sure that they are really proud of you guys. Proud of you.
Oh.
So what I was saying is that I really like that kind of definition. I mean, I hadn't thought it that way, but it really goes along with how important it is that you push the boundaries and push the limits to become as rounded as you can in terms of professional. So because it's very, very common, we as part of the selection committee, I'm receiving and looking at portfolios on weekly basis, right? And we receive loads of portfolios where visualization, 3D models, renderings, photomontage, I mean, like 3D images kind of have the most kind of part of the portfolio. So it's the most important part of it. But people tend to, forget about the construction and how to represent what you have in mind, how you're going to build it, how you're going to put it together, and how important is detailing, to be detail oriented. So I think that passion that you have in your childhood for all those Legos and building things at some point play a role, and that is something that you cannot dismiss while you are kind of training yourself in the profession. I think it's super important. And the fact that they gave you the opportunity to go to the site from the very beginning, it's funny. I mean, all the participants that we have interviewed so far, they have got that experience, but that's not very common. I mean, yeah. I think that you were very lucky that they allow you to.
And also you have to ask for it. Like sometimes we can make the mistake of feeling comfortable doing just one thing, and as we are good at it, like just keep doing it forever, right? So especially at the beginning, I suggest everyone to just be restless, and if they feel comfortable doing something, that's a bad sign. Let's try to do that. The architecture is so huge. Like there's so many things that we need to learn. It's so generalistic. Don't ever specialize, especially at the beginning. Try to learn the more you can from everything. Like do plans, do 3Ds, details, models, hand sketch, going to the job site, managing consultants, managing engineers, creating concepts, like everything. Try to always be involved in everything. That's one of my things. And I'll have good attitude, work hard, and Nobody knows how to do things. So we finish the school, but then we don't know really how to work, and then you learn by doing, especially. So find a good office that they are gonna put you like, they're gonna make you feel challenged. That's one of my big also suggestions. And don't really worry too much about the portfolio name. My uncle Antonio will disagree with me right now, but whatever. So I when I was dealing with my visa here, I went to Amsterdam, and then I stopped by in Rotterdam, and I went to the OMA office, and then in the end I ended up doing an interview, and they offered me an internship there, which is really cool and stuff. It was going to be really cool for my portfolio, but I felt I wouldn't maybe learn as much being such a little intern in OMA than coming here to an unknown office that ended up being pretty cool, actually. Like, Y Architecture is one of the coolest offices in LA, and I didn't know, to be honest. But I felt it was better to kind of now, okay, from Y, let's go now to Studio PCH and focus more on details and restaurants and learn from construction. Okay, now, so then I switched to construction. Okay, let's learn how to really build things and be dirty every day and blah, blah, blah. And then with that, it was when I felt, okay, now I feel I can do my own thing.
And you already had built your network in terms of, I mean, how did you started your clients' phone book, or how?
So
how did it happen
funny.
The first time?
I don't know. I think also the key is like the attitude that we have coming from a different country. We have to automatically be kind of outgoing a little bit, you know? We don't know anyone here. I moved here, I didn't know nobody, just my friend Laura, and she then moved to New York, and now, so you gotta do it. So you have this attitude of, okay, outgoing. So then I started my networking through surfing in Malibu a little bit. So I made a few friends, and then I don't know, it was like very slowly through the years. So I had friends for 5 years surfing. After the 5th year, the father of one of them suggested to recommend me to do the design for something. And then I remember that the first client was the ex-mayor of Malibu. He's the owner of a surf shop. So I was always late for my meetings for the construction for the Nobu Hotel. So and the surf shop was right in front of the hotel. So he helped me park one day, and we started chatting. We became friends. And then he told me, hey, I have a little project. Do you want to? And he said, I would love to help you on that little project. And then he let me do whatever I wanted. So that's the old road. Again,
is attitude. I mean,
like being friendly and just, hey, I heard that the owner of this surf shop was the mayor. And yeah, I am. It's like, wow, you are? Like, you don't look like a mayor. Like, well, I am. Like, okay. So it's like, I don't know, just having a good attitude, I guess. Yes, that's how it worked with me. I mean, with other people may work different ways. There's connections in Spain. Everything works with connections, right? But now the way I make new clients, which is, so I have 2 things that I really like from what I'm doing. One is to see the things built. So now I have like maybe 15 projects, but I have 2 that are under construction. So just seeing things coming to life, it like gives me a little, I don't know, like orgasm thing. I don't know how to mention that. And then when a client refers me to another client, that's to me like, okay, that means that this guy is willing to put his name and refer me to the other one is because I did a good job. So that's just the best thing. So word of mouth, that's one of my really very good regards. Yeah.
I think that it will be great if you can show us any of the projects that you're working on right now. I'm going to try to share the screen
if you want to scroll very quickly, because I don't know if we have time, and for you, I mean.
No, we're good. It's just that I think that Zoom closes in like an hour, but you see you don't see the miniatures. Sorry, you don't see them. Hold on. This is so low key. Oh, you want to do it? No.
No. You do it.
Okay.
You do it, and so you scroll.
You tell me. I'm gonna scroll the miniatures, and you tell me which one. I love this one, by the way.
Yeah. Stop from the beginning, and we scroll, and then.
But you wanna scroll?
Explanation.
Okay, let's.
You're gonna give me 5 seconds for each, okay?
Okay. So, go for it.
Yeah. So that one that I see. So that one is the is the one that I did
Hold on a
for the
second.
mayor.
In Instagram, you turn the camera, so I can only see now the back. That's it. There you
go. Oh, sorry.
No problem.
So that one is the first ever design that I did on my own. That was the one for the mayor. We are still working on it. So that was a long time ago. And his own house got in fire after we designed it. So now he's trying to deal with the fire insurance. But this was a beautiful site, and I felt like I didn't want to create any sort of retaining walls. And then, I mean, I love a lot of architects from down here. So I am a huge fan of John Launer. I really like Pierre Cuny, Craig Elwood, Neutra, Schindler, obviously Frank Lloyd Wright. So I am obsessed with one of the houses that Launer designed, which is the Chemosphere, which is like very iconic.
Yes.
It's like a one octagon overlooking Studio City. It's owned by Benedict Taschen, and that's like a pretty. Even the solution to me is like, well, it's a complicated site. He just put a column and then an octagon on the top. So this was when the mayor showed me this, ex-mayor now showed me this site. I said, wow, this needs something kind of similar but more organic. So also I really like Corrales and Moletum from Spain, and I don't know, I started testing some options, and then the combination of 4 octagons, I thought it was like the solution.
So geometry was your main source of inspiration in this case?
Yeah, I like pure geometry a lot. Like it's also something.
But this is so this is a rendering?
Yes, yeah. So everything that you're gonna guys see here, except for the last slides. I mean, I'm getting now 2 houses built. So nothing has been really built on my own. I just started my office. But this is like the dream that I hope they look like this.
But listen, what was the software you used? I mean, I thought that the new was actually built. Now that you're saying, I can tell, you know, the background. Maybe it's like maybe not. It's a photomontage, but yeah, I totally thought it was a real space. It's amazing.
No. Thank you. It's a SketchUp and V-Ray, and then
SketchUp? You kidding me?
Yeah.
Really?
SketchUp he's been my best friend since I learned SketchUp 12 years ago.
I have to say I don't like it, but obviously the V-Ray gives you, you know, the elegance that probably SketchUp.
Well, another tip for everyone, if everyone wants to improve one skill, I think being organized is the key. So I am overly organized with SketchUp, with layers, components, and everything. The same with CAD. So very, very organized, and never stop learning and improving your workflow. That's what I've been doing with SketchUp. I still do right now. I'm still learning new things with SketchUp. So that's maybe why some people, I mean, SketchUp gives you the chance to make mistakes if you're not organized. So that this is the next project. So this is also in Malibu. This is an existing office building that I'm working with the owner, who's an engineer who kind of wanted to design it himself. We're turning it into a big hotel. Then this is one that I have under construction right now. This is a remodel.
Okay.
No, I think we only have one image of each project from now on. So this is the.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, in the map, so you see the location. So this is on Malibu Road. It's a remodel of an existing mid-century modern. Wait. So I'm looking now. Should I look at the Instagram, Patricia?
Oh, sorry. I think that there's a delay. There's a delay. That's why I was moving. Okay, sorry. I moved back. You're talking about this one. I'm so sorry. There's a delay between the 2 sources for some reason.
Yes. So this one is the one that I'm saying. It's on Malibu Road. It's under construction now. It's just a remodel, but it's like the house was pretty expensive originally, and it was designed by Edward Fickett. And now there was an ugly kitchen right there blocking the ocean view. So we kind of opened everything up. So it was more like
west orientation?
It's south, pure south.
It's south,
so
pure south.
This is like it was mainly a surgery engineering exercise. And coordination with Malibu City to get the permit, which was tedious because we needed to keep it very, very low, so we wouldn't trigger a coastal permit. A coastal permit would make it take 2 years longer, the whole process. So it was like, thanks to the experience working on the Novo projects, I was able to really get this ready. And now we should be done in 4 to 6 months.
Awesome.
Okay, next one. This is a fire rebuild. The owners, I did something different originally, but the owner and the wife, they wanted something very, very feminine. So they told me, why don't you try to do something with curves? And I said, okay, I'll give you curves. And it was very simple. It's just one arc for the roof that goes from the ground to the double height space, and then a few. So their garage is a circle, and then the master bedroom is a spline. Everything is tangent, and then they combine the space in between is a double height space. And I like bridges inside the houses. And this one I also like. There's a few Launer houses that I really like in Malibu. And also there's another architect that I really like. His name is Harry Gensler. I like his history a lot and his thinking, maybe not as much his aesthetics, but I was also inspired by him a lot on this one. And this one, the challenge is gonna be built for, the budget is not very high. So that's why we're using a lot of concrete block. Only the fireplace and the floor of the master bedroom is gonna be poured in place concrete. There's a retaining wall that is going to be shotcrete to reduce cost. So we're very close.
This is a project run by you, or this is in collaboration with your former?
No, all these projects are only me.
100% yours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's just that you were talking in plural. You're talking about your team. Got it.
Well, I was talking about the clients and
I
guess, and the contractor, the builder, whoever comes. This is an addition for a house in Point Dume in Malibu, and it's like a 2,000 square foot, which is around 200 square meters, and also a pool. So here they wanted to be able to see I should have picked the other view where when you enter the courtyard, you can still see the sunset through the house. So they really wanted transparency. And that's why the slope of the roof kind of opening up to the views. So when you're standing up on the other side, like you still catch a lot of sky. Beautiful. I think my earpods are super old, so the battery is about to die. So maybe I have to put the speaker. Okay, I hope that the sound doesn't.
I hope it. Mine are going away too.
Okay. This is not one that is on the works. We're dividing it in 2 phases. This is another also in Malibu. This is for one of my South African clients.
This is the one with the video that you share with us, right? It's
no,
not? It's the one that you go
video
up
is another one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you have too many.
Well, I was lucky also, like through the quarantine thing. I thought I was gonna be empty-handed, but no, like projects kept going on my way. So this was the one client was happy. He referred me to him. So they bought the piece of land, but it was a previous fire victim. So the fire victims have a good thing, which is they can get the permits a bit faster. So that's what we're trying to do here. But we got the permit for the first floor. We now try to get the one for the second floor, but we want to be respectful to the neighbors, make sure we don't block their views. So we're making some adjustments. But this is like the dream that we're gonna now. If the people know Miss Van der Rohe, I used that little canopy on the roof. That's a little detail from the Tugendhat that at the same time Craig Elwood used in one of the case study houses for the architect gigs. By the way, I want to mention Andres Conejero, who connected us.
I was going to say.
Architect gigs. He's speaking right there. Okay, so this is a little.
What happened? Hold on, I lost
the one that you showed.
Sorry, it went away. This is it. Sorry.
That one is another fire victim. This is in Malibu Lake. I used to live there, so it's like a little community in the mountains. And that one. kind of like Pierre Koenig had a lot of really cool projects too. So he was trying to prove that you can build things faster if you also like using panels and everything. So I'm I think that architecture is going to go that way. So this is a little experiment, and I think I could apply this system in other places. And I'm gonna try to find a way to get investment myself to build this one, and then maybe do a development, but it's still on hold.
Explain that. What do you mean? Like you get investment yourself to help?
So this one, so I did this project kind of out of like the owner of the land. He used to be my landlord, and he was very unlucky that this house got in fire. So I just got the inspiration, and I said, I'm gonna design something for you.
I wanna help you.
And if you like it, let's find a way to kind of collaborate together. So instead of just being the architect of this one,
Luis.
I would like to be, well, it's beautiful, but I have my own interest here is that if it works through, I want to build it myself, because now, thanks to the experience in construction, I think I could arrange a nice team of people, and it's not too complicated to build, hopefully. Build it with the owner who could put the money, and then maybe, I don't know, maybe try to sell, and then is when maybe we split the difference or whatever, on the benefits. That's something that I just feel like probably won't happen, but I want to also start doing those kind of things where I find the investment, and I try to become a small developer a little bit. That's the way a lot of architects made it through in LA in the past. So maybe it's one of the ways.
That's true. I think it's a good moment just to let the people who is watching now on Instagram Live that we might, cut off the connection at any second, but we will send you a link where you can just drop your emails. And so we will send you the replay, and you can just, go deeper into all these fantastic buildings. It's such a shame that we don't really have enough time to go deep down in every project to see, plans, details, and so on. But
it's fine. Yeah. Well, I have, if the people want to follow my account, I typically post. So I only post projects that are approved, but then in the stories, I typically share little things of the upcoming projects.
I'm gonna put here. I mean, we share your website and your.
And if anyone has questions about visas and everything, of course they can ask you. But if they want something more like, I don't know, from my experience, I'm happy to help anyone. Okay.
It's Luis Tena Design, right?
Yes, I don't go to LinkedIn that much, but
no, I'm sharing your LinkedIn
through Instagram. I am more
reachable.
I think people use it more.
Correct.
That one is another one on the lake. Oops. That one, for example, I wanted to show you. So this is like a 3D model of that one that I did.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So I did like a bridge right there. Yeah. This is more like the guy really liked Front Your Ride too. So.
And you have like an infinity pool that is only one lane?
It's not. That's a bridge to nowhere. So this is there's like a park right there. So there's like a big cliff, and then the lake is down here. So I wanted to just have in Taliesin, which is the architecture school that Frank Wright, he started on the East Coast, and then he had the one in Arizona, in Scottsdale. In both buildings, he always had like one of those bridges to nowhere. So I thought it was funny that the owner loves Frank Wright so much. I said, why don't we do this here too? And I said, okay, let's do it.
Beautiful, beautiful. So next one, this is the model.
This is a remodel in Studio City. That's actually a rendering, the one in white. And this is, so it used to have a big dance studio that we're turning into a living room on the left side. And then the next view is the view from the living room, but this is still in the works.
Let's see if we can show any of the ones that you're building.
Yeah, and this is the one that is in construction. So if you scroll very fast, that's the original sketch when I had the idea. So this is the lot, ground, that's the rendering. And then, you go fast. That's the floor plan. So I wanted to show different floor plans. This is the one render, then the one more cleanup, then the one more technical.
Is this Revit or what software? So just
that's, for the moment I use CAD. I think Revit is a really good software, and I want to start using it as if I grow my company and if I start doing bigger projects, because for the moment I only do tiny houses, but the Revit, I think, is a really good tool. Is getting better and better.
Yes.
But for the moment, to me, it's like driving a big truck, when I just need to drive a Prius to go places. So the Prius to me is the AutoCAD.
Okay. Well, when you become like a superstar, there's no doubt that you will, we have a great pool of talents that we can share with you.
Yes, I mean, my goal is not to have a big office, to be honest. I really don't care. I just want to do cool things. And then if I need help, I will ask. I already have two people helping me every now and then. So that's some sections. If you go to the last ones.
Great views.
Here the original owners, they were a family, but then they sold it to a developer. So the developer wanted to sell the house before it's finished. So that's why I did so many renderings. I did also like a video presentation. And they're trying to get it done, but
Okay.
As
I said, we're gonna post
then,
all this if you guys want to have a look in more detail.
And then you'll see now the construction photos, I think.
I'm really surprised that this is seriously a SketchUp and V-Ray.
That's what Kulaphat told me when I started Hawaii architecture.
I think it was Maxwell, or I don't know.
No, really? They were using 3ds Max, and they didn't believe that you could do things with the SketchUp, so that I proved them wrong. And that's the construction.
Good for you. Proud dad. I love your dad.
He also needs a lot of attention, it looks like. There you go.
Sorry, I just found it very lovely. Yes, so this is the building that you're currently under construction, that you have currently under construction. Okay. I think that the team shares some shots, like a tour and a video where you can actually explore the space. But look at that. So this is also in Malibu Hills?
Yes. No, this is in Malibu. It's a place called Malibu Park that was hit really bad by the fires. It's right in the middle of Malibu.
I see. Well, I think that we got to the last.
That's by the way, that's the brown and the scratch for the stucco. That's gonna be finished later. Stucco is like plaster. I don't know how to we're gonna try to make it look concrete. I really wanted it to be concrete, and I don't like fake materials, but here the stucco is like a really common and good material with a lot of properties against fire and things like that. So we thought it was appropriate to use it for the first floor. We thought, me and the builder, because you have to be there almost every day. Like today, for example, I'm gonna go to buy tiles with the contractor and help him choose them, because it's just also me now doing the interior design on the go with them.
I see.
So I like to do things organized, but with this particular owner developer, he's like fast. So that's what I'm trying to help there.
Well, Luis, thank you so much for going over all your extensive portfolio. I mean, I can't believe that you have accomplished all this in 8 years of profession, right? Because it pretty much coincides with the time.
8 years is a lot.
Well, 8 years is a lot, but many people are, with 8 years haven't got the opportunity to, build their own projects, to learn from, Pritzker, Pupil, or even, dealing with contractors, all the suppliers and clients. So I think that you have like a incredible career to date, and that's why we want you to be today with us. I think very inspiring. I would say that the main takeaway for me is how determined and how eager to grow and to learn from others have led your path and your passion. And I hope that, you know, many of our people in the audience today will follow your path and will get inspired by you. It's been incredible.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the opportunity. And I think that what you're doing is really very good. People, I wish I had you 8 years ago. It would have been also probably easier, right?
That's what I used to say to myself, you know, when I started. Like, I wish I had an Architect US team when I you know, moved to New York. It was a very difficult. I'll share my story one day. But I think that, you know what, one thing that could be really cool at some point is that maybe you show us, you know, you do us like a sightseeing of your one of your projects. So maybe we can find at some point.
As soon as this one is done, this one should be done in 4 to 6 months too. Let's do like a Zoom call from there.
That's amazing. Okay. Well, Luis, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining me. I think that well, you didn't really ask many questions. You just were clapping and saying how cool is all what you're saying all the time. I think that there was someone asking something at the very beginning. Oh my God, there's so many comments. I cannot find them. But listen, oh yeah, I was going to just say, do you know any architectural studio that, if they're hiring international, we can, you know, resolve that question.
There's a platform called Archinect that I think they typically post there. I've never been good into the portfolio thingy hunting.
Well, we always share with our community like weekly openings on weekly basis. It's true that the things are getting better and lifted. You know, the market is picking up. As you said, many studios and firms kept busy during the quarantine, but it's true that we still have the travel ban. So the visas are, the J1 visa is resumed, thank God. Like a month ago, we won an injunction against the Trump proclamation, but the travel ban is still active until the end of the year. So we will get there, and we will be able to help you all guys with some jobs in the US, and probably you can just follow the path that Luis was sharing with us and see if his tips and recommendations actually work for you too. But as I said, we will share with you all the video. So, and if you want us to share any questions with Luis, we can do that after this. So I think that's all. Thank you so much, Luis. Seriously, it's been
Thank you, Patricia.
Honor. I will hopefully join you soon, and we can go for a drink again.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. Or when you come to Spain, because you haven't been able to travel, right?
No, and my niece was just born, and it was actually, it's technically in Berlin. Yeah, it's a bit tough times. Let's see how Christmas looks. I want to go there now that I can travel whenever I want. In theory, that I'm my own boss, is when they stop me from traveling. So.
Well, you can. You have a green card. Well,
yeah, I can technically.
It's a pain.
Like, with the previous administration, you never knew what would come up with to stop immigrants. But now let's see. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I'll let you know.
Okay, Luis. Well, have good luck with your 3D printer, and let us know how that project moves forward. I hope you get it, the commission.
Yeah.
And stay in touch. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much again for sharing your experience with us.
Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Bye bye. Bye. Luis, yo creo que te digo por el Zoom.
A ver. ¿Me oyes?
¿No? No te oigo.
Ahora, ¿me oyes ahora?
Sí. Pues nada, millones de gracias, Jolín. Podíamos tirarme hablando contigo como 4 horas.
No hemos hablado de surf, que por otro lado también, joder, a esta gente seguro que tampoco le interesaría tanto lo de surf.
Pero seguro que sí. Oye, ha sido súper interesante que gracias al surf tuvieras tu primer...
Bueno, sí, lo hemos mencionado, es verdad, como motivo al principio. Muy bien. Oye, me alegro, yo creo que ha estado interesante. Espero no haber...
Súper interesante. No me había dado cuenta, claro, que en Instagram no se puede compartir. O sea, los de Zoom lo van a tener.
La pantalla.
Claro.
Yeah.
Claro, es que es para entrevistas face to face. Pero, oye, ha ido genial, millones de gracias. Me imagino que tendrás un día busy.
Sí, ahora estoy... Sí. Oye, y eso, que lo que necesites, ¿vale?
Han estado 163 personas en vivo.
Muy
O
bien.
sea, lo has petado, Luis.
Molt bé, me alegro.
Molt bé,
A ver
molt
si
bé.
así tienes así consigues tú también más followers. A mí me han empezado a seguir ahora no sé cuánta gente.
Claro, ya te lo dije, que esto es
Eh,
un win-win. Y oye, nosotros encantados. De hecho, estamos justo a punto de sacar, o sea, estamos haciendo una cosa que se llama el Portfolio Challenge. Ya podéis pasar.
ujú.
Ya podéis pasar, es que acaba de llegar mi hijo y mi marido y le tengo al pobre ahí callado en la puerta. Ya he cancelado el Instagram. Hola, bombón. Espera, mi amor, mira, vamos a decirle hola a un amiguito que está en el ley. Hola. Oye, Luis, ¿no le dices hola? Que te está diciendo hola.
Ay, perdón, que estoy aquí. Oh, hola, ¿qué tal?
Dile hi.
Hola,
Muy bien.
¿cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? Ah, te han puesto los dibujos y ni caso ya, ¿no? Bueno, pues nada. Nada, le han puesto Paw Patrol y nada, ni idea. Que lo que te iba a decir es que se me ha ido completamente la pelota, lo que te estaba diciendo. Joder. Es lo que te estaba diciendo. Se me ha ido. Bueno.
Seguimos en contacto.
Sí,
Todo lo
el
que
Portfolio
necesites.
Challenge, que hemos hecho una cosa que es Portfolio Challenge para participantes, que les está ayudando un montón. ¿Sabes? Esto empezamos en mitad de la pandemia, pues para ayudarles a que cojan un poco de protagonismo en redes, promocionar sus trabajos y más, y está yendo genial. Y ahora vamos a empezar a hacerlo con empresas que no, o sea, no tiene, en el caso de las empresas no hay ningún challenge, ni coste, ni premio, o sea, es simplemente hacernos eco de su trabajo. Así que estaremos encantados si alguna vez quieres que compartamos algo tuyo, tú me lo
Vale.
dices. Y oye, pues tenemos una comunidad especializada, ¿sabes? Que bueno,
Muy bien.
sabes dónde pueden salir sinergias. Así que,
Perfecto.
pues
Muchas
oye,
gracias,
te mando un
Patricia.
besazo enorme. Que tengas súper buen día y vamos hablando, ¿vale?
Igualmente, adiós.
Chao. Chao.
Adiós.